Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday wrap up. I am Jessica Potts, a business strategist. I work with female service based entrepreneurs in understanding and defining who their customer base is, aligning their products with market demand, and creating visibility through authentic marketing. And this week on the Wednesday wrap up, I am talking to Sheng Her, and we're discussing how to transition your business onto the online world. And she's giving you 3 tips and some solid advice from going from working within your network and community to being able to service way more people online. So tune in. Welcome back to the Wednesday wrap up. I'm Jessica Potts, a business strategist, and this week on the Wednesday wrap up, I am talking to Sheng Her about how to transition your business into the online world. But before we get going, if you haven't yet, please press the subscribe button. And if you want to get alerted for our weekly videos, press the bell beside the subscribe button. I am excited for today. So I welcome Sheng Her. Sheng Her is a business strategist and personal brand expert. She shows service-based entrepreneurs how to take their business online and how to grow from a local business to clients worldwide. So welcome to the show. I'm excited that you are here.
Oh, me too. I'm so excited.
And we met like a couple of months ago, and I think we were introduced by a mutual friend, and we got on the phone and started chatting, and I'm like, I love you.
Yes, I think our conversation lasts longer than we expected.
Yeah, it was like more than an hour. But you know, it's so funny because I feel like when you start vibing, you start attracting people that are on your same level. And then when you do, you connect. Yes. So thanks for so much for being on this show. And normally I start by asking my guests, how did you go from corporate to owning your own business? But what I found really interesting about you is that you grew up in the Hmong culture. And so how is that, being in that culture and with those ideas that you were raised with, how does that translate to your business today?
So we talked a little bit about this, but growing up in a Hmong culture as a woman, I think you are told that you have to be like this, you have to act a certain way, because really like they're just preparing you to be like a good wife and a good daughter-in-law. So that's what I grew up. And then every time you wanted to do something, they were told like girls can't do that, only boys could do that. You had to put like your family first, and then your community first, and then your last. And just seeing all that, like I saw my mom doing all that her entire life, and I was, how can I live out my dreams if these are the expectations that are, asked of me? Like, there's no way I can do it. And I think like breaking that mold, I mean, in the entrepreneurial world, there's that subconscious mind, right? So it's like it haunted me, like it's like ingrained in me, like do this to do that. And it's like really put it to the forefront and really like addressing it and like saying that I don't have to be this way for people to like me. I don't have to be this way to be a good daughter-in-law. I don't have to be this way to be a good wife. And when I learned how to let go of that, that's when I really learned how to, take that step towards my dream. If I didn't do that, I don't think I would be where I am today, because I think just growing up as a Hmong woman, I think you're limited in your dreams and who you are. I feel like once you get married, it's like done. Like you're done. Like all that dreams and everything is like done. You give everything else to the world. And I'm just like, but I'm not gonna die till I'm 90. Like I can't spend like the last like 60 years of my life like just giving myself away.
That's interesting. And do you think that growing up that way and having someone else validate you, like a husband or a parent, do you think that that was a hard transition when you opened and launched your business? Is giving yourself validation and saying this is okay, this is an okay path?
Oh, for sure. Like that, I think that was really hard because I think in the beginning it was like, am I good enough? Are my parents going to be proud of me? Is my community going to be proud of me? Is my husband going to be proud of me? I was asking myself, why do I keep wanting people to validate me? Like even when I know I'm good. And I think it's like when I started my business, I keep saying, I'm going to do it and I'm going to make them proud and I'm going to make them proud. It wasn't making me proud, it was making them proud. And I think until I learned to let go, and I think when I sat down, I had a conversation with my husband. His name is Andrew, and I sat down and I had a conversation with him. I said, I want to do this because I want to make you proud and I want to make you be able to, like, you know, be proud of your wife and say that it was worth it and all this stuff. And he was like, I don't really care about you making you proud. I just want you to be happy. And that just lifted so much off, like the weight off my shoulder. And I was like, oh, you didn't care? And he's like, no, it's not that I don't care, but I just want you to be like happy. I was that way because of my culture, you know, because I saw my mom and she's always waiting for my dad to validate her, you know, the community to say she's good, she's such a good wife, she's such a good mom. And I was like waiting for that validation. And until I was like, okay, you know, I need to just share with him of what I'm going through. And until he's told me, like, I don't need you to validate anything for me. Like, if you're happy, then I'm happy. And that just like, okay, now all I really care is about making me happy.
Even where I'm raised in the South, we are validated, you know, we go for our MRS degree and, you know, we're validated from our families to tell us to go get a safe and good job. We're validated from our professors in college telling us a good job. And then we go get these corporate jobs and they're like, you know, you get validation through a pay raise or, you know, a title increase. And so launching my own business, it was like, where's this outside validation? And I found it stunted me from actually making business decisions and moving forward because I'm like, is this the right decision? Nobody's here to tell me yes or no. And it was crazy.
I totally relate to that because, like, in our culture, you're supposed to be a doctor, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be like having your PhD. Yeah, great, but do you know the debt that comes behind it? And I think it got to the point where I was just like, you know, Dad, like, I'm never gonna be a doctor for you. Like, it is what it is. And I mean, he's sad, being real and being honest. At the end of the day, I have like told myself, like, hey, if I can turn around and help out my parents, and I don't have a PhD, but if I have the funds and I have the money and I can support my parents and give them what they need in life because they've given me so much, I know that that's all that matters.
All right. So you decided not to be a doctor, which I totally get. It's a lot of money. So can you tell everybody what you are passionate about and you are doing in your business?
So what I'm passionate about is, I think, going through my culture and seeing what all the women in my culture, like, not being able to have all that things that they want in life because, you know, the decisions have to be finalized by their husband. Or the men in the community, and I want everything in my life. Like, I want my piece of cake, and I still want to eat it even after I have it. Like, I still want more. And for me, what I do in my business is I teach people how to build an online business, how to transition from taking their service-based business and take it online. And I work a lot with women. In society itself, we're very limited, but I just want to teach them, like, hey, you can have it all. And I'm just using the vehicle of building a business to teach women how they can have it all in life. Because we cannot have all at once. But as we slowly build it, yes, we can truly have it all. That's what I'm really, really passionate about. Teaching women how to build successful online businesses, how to have a fulfilled and purposeful life.
So do you find that your clients, it is a hard transition taking a business probably where they're out doing networking at events to solely looking for clients online? What is the biggest, like, hardest challenge that you find within your clients with that transition?
One of the hardest one that I recently discovered, they actually can't shut down the offline marketing. I'm like, I get it. You want to work face to face in front of person, but we're gonna work through a computer right now. And this is how you have to approach. This is how you have to speak. When you're an offline business, people come in, right? Your marketing's different. You have that personal relationship. You build a personal relationship as not through a computer. So I think one of the biggest transitions is people shutting down what the marketings and the sales strategies that they use in an offline business. And they try to use the same thing on an offline business onto the online world. And it's totally different. I mean, they're just minor tweaks, but shutting that down, it's really hard. It was like a breakthrough every time that I was working through. And I was like, I really had to show them the difference of the marketing and what they'll get and who they will attract.
And I think that when you do something for so many years, especially if you're leaving corporate and you're using those standards, it is a hard mind shift to sit in front of a computer. But I will say this, I have clients in my city and I refuse to go visit them because the traffic is so bad. It would take me an hour to get there and back, and that's 2 hours of my day that's like totally wasted. So I still do, even local stuff I still do on the computer.
It's just much easier, and I tell them, I said, it's much more convenient. We go on Zoom like what we're doing right now, but I think it's just getting used to it. I think what it comes down to.
Yeah. And there are this part of me that still like craves human contact because I'm in my home so much since my office is in my home. So I get that aspect too.
And that's why I tell them, like, you should go networking. Like, I encourage you to go networking and the workshops and like the big events. You definitely need to block out your time and go hang out with friends and go hang out with family. Like, it should not always be about business, because they'll say that. I think that's one of the things that they do say to me, like, okay, if I go in here, I don't get to see my clients, and I don't get that like human connection, now I'm connected to it. And I was like, there's networking, there's workshop, there's like big huge events. Go have lunch with your girlfriends. There's solutions. It's just, are you willing to make those changes so you can take your business online?
Can you give us 3 tips of how you can transition from marketing, and within your community to transitioning to business with a whole world of people? You don't have to just walk up to somebody.
There's this thing called the know and like and trust factor. And when you market online, you have to share a lot of content, because the thing is, like, content creates leads, which turns into sales, right? So when you share content to your ideal client, and you've got to know who your ideal client is. So before you go onto the online world, you're going to work with different people. Let's use an example of that. You already have an established offline business and you want to take this to the online world. Really niche it down. Say, who is it that you really want to work with? What is it that you're passionate about? What group of niche that that if you give to them, you're working for your zone of genius, right?
I love that you say that. And when I talk to my clients, I always say, if you could work with only one person in the entire world, like you love them, they follow direction, they get it, who would that be? That is who you should be niching down to.
Yeah, and that's why it really all comes down to, like, who is it that you really want to work with? Because like when you're in an offline business, right, you work with a whole bunch of people that come through your door and you just take them. You're slowly saying, like, hey, these are the people I can best help. And on top of that, you love and you enjoy working with. Because I'm going to be real here. There's some people you don't want to work with and they just drag you down. You don't show up like your best and you're kind of like, let me just do this to get it through. And I think when you really nail it down of who you really want to work with, even when you have a successful offline brick and mortar, I still want you to nail down, because what happens is when you're able to nail down exactly who you want to work with, then marketing, copywriting, all your decisions in your business becomes a whole lot easier.
I always say your customer will write your entire marketing strategy out, where, what, and when to say it, right?
Yeah. That's the first step, is identify who you want to work with. You want to get very specific. The more specific you get when you go into the online world, you become an expert a lot quicker. Because what happens is you become the go-to person for that specific topic, field, product, whatever it is. And the second step is that you've got to show up consistently. So I just mentioned it, like the know, like, and trust factor. So you want to keep showing up, give really good quality information. What you do for your ideal client is creating that breakthrough, those mini breakthroughs. It's not going to be the big breakthrough that they have as working with you, but mini breakthroughs. You keep sharing information. And what I get pushback is that they're like, well, if I share this information, then it's for free. But it's really not for free, because you're giving them a taste of what it's like to work with you. And I'm going to be honest, you can share as much information as you can, but it'll never be the same as if they were working with you.
Agreed.
So you keep showing consistently showing up, they start to know you, right? And then you create those mini breakthroughs, because you're showing up consistently, you're in their face, they want a taste of you, a dose of you every single day. They show up, they're kind of like, who's this person? I love the way this person teach. Oh my God, they made me, recognize something that I do, or this is how I need to approach my business. This is what they keep getting a taste of that. And then they start to like you. Oh my God, I like this person. Now they're slowly starting to build a connection with you. And then that's the like factor. And then you move on to trust factor. This is where they look to you as an expert. Coming to you for advice, they're DMing you, they're liking your stuff, they're commenting your stuff. It means they're showing interest. They're like, oh my God, I trust this person. They're like they're devouring everything that you're saying because they're trusting you. And then once you do that, and then when you sell your product, your service and stuff, then they're more likely to buy because if you already create that know, like, and trust factor, because they're like, hey, I know this person has given me so breakthroughs in my life that I'm going to pay this person. So they're paying you, not for your service. They're paying you for you. They like you as a person. And one thing I have to insert in here is like, just be you. We're so used to being so professional, and Jessica, I think you can relate to this. We're so used to being so professional. We have to talk a certain way. We have to be a certain way. But when you're in the online world, to differentiate yourself from anybody else is really just be you, and you become unique. Joke the way you joke. Be you, because that's what makes you unique. But I think it's so hard in the online world to be yourself because you're told that you have to be professional. You have to talk a certain way. And in the online world, they're like, use your lingo, paraphrase things, use fragments. And you're just like, what? I was never taught to use fragments. But it's like, it's okay. And I think that's what I love about the online world. It's like you have the opportunity to be yourself because, you know, being in the offline world, it's like, you know, being all that professional and stuff, I think it only get you so far. But being in the online world, you get to be you. And I think that's one of the biggest benefit of being in the online world. But that's really like the flow of transitioning from offline to the online. It's really identify your niche, know and understand the know, like, and trust factor, and then create your product and your service. And then people start to just buy from you.
And I'll tell you this, and I know that I beat this home, but the riches are in the niches. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
And once you really are able to identify and start talking to your customer like you would talk to your friends, you start attracting them and like-minded people, and it's crazy how your business just takes off. And I've been there where I was like, you know, even in marketing, I work with my clients on understanding who their customer base is, and I tell them, I'm like, they're going to tell you everything to say. You're going to be able to use their triggers, their quotes, you know this. And it takes a little bit of work, especially when you want to do these video calls and, you know, really ask people these questions. But I always tell them, I'm like, your customers or your potential customers, they want to help you. Like, they're going to give you the answers.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. And that's why I'm saying that when you create that know and like trust factor, because when they start to like you, they're going to start reaching out a little bit to you. And then they're going to ask you like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Do you have this? Hey, I don't know this. Can you give me like any tips on this? And then slowly you're going to see like, wow, I got the same question asked like 10 times. Maybe I should do a video about it. Maybe I should do a PDF about it. They're already telling you what to produce. But in order for them to tell you, you've got to show up consistently. And that becomes the know factor where you consistently show up. So that way they do know who you are and all that stuff.
I love that. I also want to comment that I just had this conversation with another entrepreneur a couple of days ago. We were taping a YouTube segment and we were talking about leaving corporate where you just don't talk about your personal life. That was the hardest transition for me, going to own my own company and separate your personal from your business, everything. And now that I've actually gone in and talked about my personal life, it has been, people start to like you. And my girlfriend who I was talking about this, my highest rated post on Instagram was me getting a haircut.
Like you just said something like stories, like personal stories build connection. I think that's one thing that's hard, you know, because like you just said, like from the corporate world, you don't share your personal stuff. And share your personal stories because it makes you human. And on top of that, it builds such a strong connection because now they can relate to you and saying like, wow, she goes through this. Wow, she feels like this. Wow, she struggles with this. It makes you human. And they're like more likely to like you a lot more when you share a really, really authentic, true story, anything that you go through, because if you're going through it, trust me, many people are going through it. But in society, we're just like told like not to share anything, not to address our vulnerability or anything. And I think when you step up as a leader to share your struggles and your worries and all that stuff, and your successes and behind the scenes and all that stuff, people are going to trust you a lot faster.
And they start to identify with that.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, when I take women on this show, we are all struggling with the same things. And it took me a really long time to start connecting with other female entrepreneurs. And once I did, it was like, holy moly, we're all in the same boat. And we are all peddling, dishing out order at the same time.
Totally agree. Like we do this last 2 years, all I'm looking for, and you have discussed this before, we're looking for like-minded women who really support each other and really willing to extend their table for other women to come and sit with us. Because I feel like as women in society, we're already so, segregated. And yet, like, we should all come together and empower each other. There's like enough clients, enough people in the community to support and lead, and we can use each other's services and help.
Absolutely. And my niche customer base is different from your niche customer base. All support each other and bring a lot of value to people. I just did a video on my life purpose, right? Unless I was able to really identify what lit me up inside, what set me on fire, it was crazy because I was able to align my business with that. One thing that I found about myself was being a connector. Like I love connecting people with other people to help them kind of get to this next place. And so I feel like with this YouTube channel, that's a way for me to be able to do that, is to be able to connect you with a different audience, something that really just brings a lot of joy to me.
Each of us are placed on this earth for a specific reason, right? And we need to find that. And it takes trial and error and all that stuff. And you're a connector, and for me, like, I feel like I'm an empowerer, or if that's even a word, but I'm here to empower people to know that they're meant for more in life. And I truly believe that, like, the last 3 or 4 years, I finally own that. Like, people's like, Shane, you're meant to do more, and you're meant to show people what their life could be. And I was like, nah. And now that I really step into that zone, like, yeah, I'm here to empower people. I'm here to really show them, like, what's their superpower, and let them use that superpower so they could, like, create and build that dream life, that they want, whether it's having a business or not. And I'm truly know that, like, I'm here to pour on this earth for that reason.
I love that you say superpower. I call it your superpower traits that only you possess. And you hit right on that, which I love. Can you give our listeners any advice so they don't fall into those common pitfalls from transitioning their business from being, in person to online?
It's really having a growth mindset. You're never going to grow if you're so resistant to things. And being an online entrepreneur, you're going to try things that you're just like, are you sure it's going to work? But you have to give it a try, maybe a couple times. What I mean by having a goal set is, like, one is willing to try things, even when you are uncomfortable and you don't know if it's going to work, because what might work for my business might not work for yours. And you have to test it out, and you might have to make tweaks to my advice so it could work for your business. And the other thing is, you're going to fail. And you have to be okay with making mistakes, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes taking your business online, and you have to be okay with it. You have to say, hey, what did I learn from this? Okay, let's move on. And then number 3 is detach yourself from the outcome. I have learned that from the last, like, year and a half. When things didn't happen, I was like, why? What happened? What did I do wrong? What's going on? I wasn't detaching from the outcome, because in my mind, I was like, oh, I need to do this and this and this, and then this is what the outcome was going to produce. And when it didn't happen the way I planned it, I was like down for days. I was like, what is going on? And really, it's just detach yourself from the outcome, and just not do it in your business, but do it in your personal life. And then when you learn to detach from the outcome, like, you're just going to give, right? And you're going to have goals, but you might not reach those goals, those exact numbers. But if you're just behind like a couple thousand or a couple of numbers, just know that you're so different from where you are when you started 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And I think that's like my 3 like tips that I could give you as if you're going to the online world. Is number 1, have a growth mindset. Number 2 is be okay with mistakes. And number 3 is detach yourself from the outcome.
I completely agree with you. And I think that those are the best 3 pieces of advice that you could give any business owner, even if they're just launching. Mindset is huge. And it took me a long time even a money mindset, because when you work in corporate, you don't work money mindset until you own your own business and you realize that you can make as much money as you possibly want. And it's that shift. I always talk about failures, right? I say, I don't really think I have failures. It's a stepping stone to my success, because I need those offset to understand they get back on the right path. And those are just part of life. It's going to happen. And then I love the third one. You and I have talked about this so many times. Detaching from the end is so easy for you to say. Holy moly, so hard to do. And it is a work in progress for me. Whenever I walk into any situation, I really try to have zero expectations.
I think that it's hard. It's really hard. But I promise you that if you learn and you practice, your business doesn't become so stressful. Because when you don't book that client, or when you didn't meet those numbers or those goals, oh my gosh, you beat yourself so much. And you're like, this is it. Like, it didn't work. Oh my God, I wasn't meant to do this. And you self-sabotage yourself in so many ways. When I learned how to detach from the outcome, I moved on quicker. If I didn't make a sale, or didn't happen, or I didn't meet my goals, I was like, okay, I didn't do it, I'm gonna move on. But before, when I didn't detach myself from the outcome, it was like you were saying all these bad stuff about you.
Oh, our worst critic, always. And nobody else is even thinking the things we're thinking.
Like, you make up stories about yourself that no one's thinking except you.
And they don't even notice about you. And I have a good example. She wrote this manifest how she wasn't going to post this picture because her arm looked fat. And I wrote on the comments, I'm like, I didn't even notice your arm until you pointed it out.
Yeah.
All right, so I have loved this. You have been an incredible wealth of information. I know that you are offering people a 3-step process to start attracting clients online. And can you share how people can gain that, and also how they can get in touch with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Sheng Her, SHENGHERR. And then you can also go to my website, which is www.shengher.com. I'm going to put the PDF in there. And the PDF is really 3 ways of how you get online clients. And really, like, you can get online clients from anywhere. Just, you got to show up. That's the key. You got to show up. But you can get your online clients anywhere. And you can download that PDF so you can start, when you transition to an online world, you can totally start booking those clients. Jessica will totally put the links, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and my website.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheng. I so appreciate you being here. I know that other people are going to find this incredibly valuable. So thank you. And thank you guys for showing up for the Wednesday wrap up. That's it for this week's Wednesday wrap up. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, if you want to follow or connect with Sheng Her, all of her information is in the description below. I hope to see you next Wednesday.